This is Saturn Girl. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment below because I want to know what you think, and it helps me out with the algorithm. Also, click the bell when you subscribe so that you get notified when my new videos drop. And my videos are the best. Well, this is another special edition of my transit videos, where we take a look at an upcoming transit and what it means. We also look at how it expresses through natal charts by looking at a few celebrities. We also look at a few events that correlate with it. And finally, what it means for you personally. Which means we do what? Your horoscopes! In the next video, part 2. Because if we tried to cram it all together into one, this would be way too long. And you vultures would devour me alive. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? Well, anyway, why am I so excited here? Well, because December 4th, Venus, Our Lady of Lewd and Lascivious Love, will enter her sign of detriment, the sultry and salacious Scorpio. Let's take a look at it on the chart, shall we? Look, here's my mama Venus in late Libra. Let's watch her go, go mama, go. And boom, into Scorpio. This is quite interesting because Venus has been about a sign or two behind Mars since about September. It's almost like she's coming up behind him to clean up his messes. You see, Mars is just bursting through signs, like the Kool-Aid guy, right? Going, oh yeah, as he breaks the wall down. You know, he just comes in and tears up the place and then leaves. Sort of like Burning Man. Meanwhile, Venus has to come up behind him to clean up the drywall, to smooth things over, and maybe mend any connections that Mars, right? Because we know Mars cuts things off, don't we? And we'll talk a bit more about what this means for you personally when we get to your horoscopes in the next video. But first, we have to talk about what Venus in Scorpio even means, don't we? Well, what's Venus mean? We know what she means. She's my mama Inanna. I love her so much. Why? Well, she's love, attraction, and beauty, isn't she? She's harmony and social grace. She rules precious things, yes? I mean, she rules Taurus and Libra. And what do we enjoy most? Comfort and pleasure. Well, Scorpio, on the other hand, primarily gets its meaning from its ruling planet Mars. And also the time of year in which it occurs. So, you see, Mars expressing through a feminine, water, and fixed sign bestows an underhanded aggression as opposed to Aries, which is overhanded. Scorpio is also known for a cunning, stubborn disposition, as well as passion and obsession. And remember also that a lot of this meaning comes from Scorpio's season and where it happens, right? It's when the nights finally get longer than the days in the northern hemisphere, right? This is the waning cycle of the sun in its annual journey, right? That is the increase and decrease of light over the course of a year. And this is metaphorical, of course. We know the sun isn't orbiting the earth. But this is Mars turned inward, as opposed to Aries, which is Mars turned outward, right? We can see how Scorpio then is the inner battle and can manifest as the subjective warrior, the one who must learn to master herself. Well, what about Venus in Scorpio, though? This is my mama trying to express herself through a Mars-ruled sign. Oh my gosh. Well, my mama ain't happy here, that's for sure. You see, she doesn't know what to do with herself in Scorpio. She rules Taurus, right? It's a sign where she comfortably expresses her need for sensual pleasure, nice things, and clean spaces. She can attract partners there and have normal relationships with normal people, right? Although I've been with some abnormal Taurus Venus types, right? And what is normal? I'm just talking about not acting all goofy. You know, being comfortable in your expression. But not even remotely normal, right? When she's in Scorpio. A planet in detriment doesn't know what to do with itself, does it? Here's an example. I'm very comfortable expressing myself at play parties, right? But not so much at a Trump rally. It would be a little more uncomfortable for me. When she's in Scorpio, her sensual enjoyment becomes more like hoarding and possessive. But I think Scorpio Venus is hot. You know, I like the way they stare at you. Like they're going to eat you with fava beans and a nice Chianti. Right? It's that whole Hannibal Lecter thing, you know. I get lost in their eyes. Those creepy, creepy eyes. You know, they look at you, right? They look at you like, like their heads are slightly tilted down. So they barely have to look up at you. So it's like, it's so hot to me. It's like this, creepy intensity. They can be a bit much, though. I'm like, yo, Scorpio Venus. What you would call romance, a judge would call a second-degree felony. Boom. Her usual social nature is turned on its head, isn't it? She holds grudges. She gets vengeful. I'm like, hey, Scorpio Venus, if you tell enough people you're never speaking to them again, you'll never have to talk to anyone. It's funnier when I don't stumble over my words, isn't it? Well, she can also get codependent and or manipulative. She's naturally suspicious here, and it can be hard to trust people. Or she can want to be liked so much that she lets other people take advantage of her. I also think about the acquisitive nature of Venus, right? Because she is desire. In Taurus, she'll go and buy whatever she wants, even if she doesn't have any money. I remind my Taurus homies that retail therapy does not cure most major diseases. Meanwhile, in Scorpio, she'll just take it, what she wants, even if she does have money. I'm thinking of Winona Ryder. Remember that whole thing? Anyway. If you have Venus in Scorpio, you should look at the whole sign houses Taurus and Libra represent in your chart. And that way you can get a hint about what areas of life will be more challenging for you. And we'll briefly touch on that in your horoscope video, so you better watch. Well, what are some famous examples of people with Venus in Scorpio? Number 1, Brittany Murphy. I love Brittany Murphy. Remember, she's the famous actress who tragically passed away at the end of 2009. She's one of my heroes. She's one of my faves. I love her. Remember in Clueless, right? She was in Clueless. You can be a farmer in those clothes. I love when she says to Alicia Silverstone, she says, "You're a virgin who can't drive." That was way harsh, Ty. Anyway, she had a difficult relationship history too, including manipulation and codependency, right? Especially to her husband, Simon Monjack. I think I'm saying that correctly. Simon Monjack, who, according to Teen Vogue, was basically using her for money. Yes, I look at Teen Vogue. Stop it. I have more issues than Vogue. Well, by some accounts, this fool Monjack blew through $3 million of her money. Brittany Murphy wasn't even allowed to answer her own phone. Friends even considered staging a relationship intervention. Poor Brittany. I love you, Brittany. Well, who else do we have? Jonah Hill, the famous actor who went from super bad to super worse. Boom. I always remember him from his brief appearance in 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he tries to buy these platform boots with goldfish in the soles, right? How do you feed the fish? You know? Well, anyway. Yes, he's been in other big movies, but what he's really remembered for right now is his allegedly abusive relationship to surfer Sarah Brady. Again, I get this from Teen Vogue. So, she posted screenshots of messages where Hill appeared to tell her not to be around other men, or post pictures of herself in a bathing suit, or to hang out with other women who he thought were unstable, claiming that these were boundaries for him to have a romantic relationship. So, in that same article I read in Teen Vogue, they cited comments from psychiatrist Dr. Jessie Gold, MD, in which she said that this is weaponized therapy speak, right? She said, whenever therapy speak is used to coerce or manipulate, that's weaponizing it, right? Therapy speak is for healing. No one cares about the speak. It's about the actual healing. Words are descriptors, right? It's about motive and intention. And it didn't seem like he had great motives there, but I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm going off of Teen Vogue. Well, who else? Winona Ryder. I've been in love with her since I was a kid, right? She's the famous actress who was in Heathers, one of my favorite movies, Heathers, and Beetlejuice, another one of my favorite comedies. But most of you will remember her from Stranger Things, won't you? Well, anyway, it's funny to me because that reminds me of Beetlejuice when she says, "Living people ignore the strange and unusual, and I myself am strange and unusual." God, I love that movie. So she also had some difficult relationship history, didn't she? One of her most famous romances was with her fellow actor Johnny Depp. She was even quoted as saying that their relationship was intensely passionate and at times even volatile. What sign does that sound like? Scorpio Venus. You know. She added that she had an extra large breakdown when they split in 1993. Sounds sort of like a codependent situation to me. But what do I know? Ryder also got famously in trouble with the law in the early 2000s when she shoplifted, right? And she had to throw herself on the mercy of the court. Well, you see, another Scorpio Venus thing, like, ooh, that's nice. I think I'll take that. Wow. What sort of events do we see correlate with Venus and Scorpio, though? Well, Venus in Libra often brings diplomacy and the mending of relations, while Venus in Scorpio sours them and intensifies divides. For example, last time Venus was in Scorpio, right, from late October to mid-November of 2022, that's when Elon Musk took over Twitter, turning it from a diverse social media and discourse marketplace into a cesspool of hate and conflict. Now he calls it X, right? I guess that means it went from social media to anti-social media. Anyway. Now what else happened? Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's 82-year-old husband, Paul, was violently attacked with a hammer in what looked like a politically motivated assault. This incident then became the source of really nasty jokes by the Republican Party. They turned the whole thing into a conspiracy theory about being a gay lover's quarrel. of which there were no indications. The manipulation of this incident for political maneuvering is very characteristic of a Scorpio and Venus transit. Well, and then Taylor Swift, she's always in the news, right? I don't think anyone needs an introduction about who she is. She became the first artist in history to dominate all top 10 slots on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart. Venus, of course, rules music and singing. And in Scorpio, she takes control and dominates, doesn't she? But what does this mean for you? Well, remember, this is a time when emotions are volatile. Feelings can get quite intense. It's best at this time to be honest and direct with people, but also respectful, right? Underhanded things will not turn out well here, even though you might want to do them. The desire to just take what we want is pronounced. Remember to respect other people's autonomy. Ask for what you want. Try not to fall into obsessive patterns. Love and desire will take on a sense of urgency. Keep your wits about you. And remember, the most important relationship is with yourself. A big reminder here is that you can't control anyone but you. Well, but to see how this applies to you individually, you need to watch the next video in which we talk about your horoscopes. So thank you for watching this little snippet until the end. Please like, subscribe, comment, and click the bell. And watch my other videos because I have lots of educational material and I'm pretty cute and fun. I also do the best readings. It's science. All my contact information is below for you to book, or you can book through my website, frankielynch.com. And finally, and most importantly, I love you. You're beautiful. And have a wonderful whatever it is you're having.